The year was 1949. My husband and I, Alex and I, had just gotten married, and we had decided we would emigrate to the United States. It was a lonely journey. I think if I hadn't been so busy running up and down stairs to keep from being seasick, I would probably have been even more lonely. I was just too busy the whole time. I was full of trepidation about meeting his brother and his wife. I didn't know anything about them. I had not really ever been in touch with them. I'd never known anything about them until we had asked for their sponsorship. We had to have a sponsor to come here, and Alec had asked his brother if he would sponsor us, which meant, you know, like they were responsible for us being good, stable citizens, and at the beginning anyway. So we happened to catch a glimpse of Alec while everybody was getting off the ship, and I was panicked. I didn't even know him. He had gotten a crew cut, and I was used to all these lovely waves and colours that he had, and I hardly even recognized him. And he was wearing a short-sleeved shirt, and none of the men in Scotland wore short-sleeved shirts at that time. So this was all, I felt like I was looking at a stranger. I wasn't aware that of this heat. I'd never in my life experienced 103 degrees heat, which I happened to be in New York that day. I'm dressed to meet them. I'm wearing my gloves and my hat and suede shoes and a wool suit. And believe me, it was hot. I'm thinking, well, I'm really, really overdressed here. So between panicking at not knowing my husband and panicking because I was dressed the way I was, obviously overdressed, I decided I would just stay on the ship and go home. I just didn't want to get off the ship. For quite a while after I got here, if it hadn't been for Alec, I would have gone back. Fortunately, when I would get homesick, he would be okay. And when he would get homesick, I would be okay. So we managed to kind of weather that. And I'd seen the movies, and I thought that things would be more modern, and that house was not. I couldn't believe big cabbage roses on the wall. We would never have put wallpaper like that in our house. And it just was so different from what I had expected. I'm watching out the window and I'm seeing all these little lights outside. And I really thought maybe the boys were playing with matches. So I didn't want to say anything to anybody until I told my husband, maybe Eric's playing with matches out there. I see all these little lights. And he said, no, it's just fireflies, which I had never seen either. So we had the very, very first Thanksgiving. There was a big market in Philadelphia, so we'd get on a bus and go over to Philadelphia, which was about half an hour, 20 minutes maybe. And Alec had decided he had been here before, and he wanted a whole Thanksgiving dinner. He wanted the whole thing from soup to nuts. Well, we only had this little apartment, and there was only two of us. And we invited his other sister, who lived near there. So we went into the Redden Terminal Market, and the first thing we did was we were going to get the turkey. And I went up to the counter, and Alex behind me, he would push me forward to speak. He was pretty shy. I never was. So I said to the guy, I would like a turkey. Well, it was all he sold. This whole stall was just turkeys. I said I would like a turkey. And he said, well, how big? And I said, I'm looking at Alec, and he said, a big one. I'm saying, a big one. So he said, okay. 24 pounds, and I'm looking at Alec, and he's saying, yeah, so we got a 24-pound turkey for two people. And Then we went right, while they were dressing it, because they usually actually kill them and dress them at this market, we were going around buying all the stuff that went with the turkey. This was our first Thanksgiving. So we bought all the vegetables and blah, 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 never thinking that we had to get back on the bus with all this stuff. And we only didn't even realize that we had an apartment refrigerator which wouldn't hold all this stuff anyway. We had to empty everything out just to get that stuff in.